So let's just get comfortable, however that is for you. If cross-legged is okay, if you need a bit of height, that's a suggestion. You might like to just grab a cushion and prop yourself up a little bit. Having a little bit of height assists the pelvis to tilt forward, so I recommend that you either fold it over and sit at the front kind of third of it. And that just assists you. You'll just notice now that my pelvis, you can see that difference? My pelvis just drops and I'm able to sit quite comfortably there. If you need to move at any stage, please do so. And we just begin to get settled. So just noticing now the support that's underneath you. Noticing where your legs are touching the floor. Allowing all the sounds in your environment to come to you. Begin to listen to the sounds within you. Listening to your breath. Noticing any little bodily noises, perhaps your tummy's gurgling. Noticing what's behind the eyelids. Listen to the sound of your breath moving in and out your nostrils. Notice what parts of the body are moving while we're breathing. So just connecting, turning the attention inward, and just having a look around. What's going on the insides this afternoon? So allowing all of our senses to open. Noticing those distractions as well. You'll hear something and then you might think about something and then the mind will constantly be dragged away. And that's okay. We allow that to happen and then just gently bringing your awareness back to the breath. Just knowing this afternoon that our class is about breathing, moving safely. It's never about the pose. It's about how you live your life while moving through the poses. What's coming up for you in the poses? So inviting you to have your hands comfortably, continue to sit upright as best that you can. A nice flowing breath. You might like to open the eyes now and blink a few times, just removing my glasses. I'm not sure about any of you with screen time. My eyes are fried. Homeschooling and assisting a small one with schoolwork. So let's just start with a real simple eye exercise. So we'll take our right arm just directly up out in front and hold our thumb. So it's about my nose level. Continue to keep a nice smooth breath, head nice and still, and taking the right arm out to the side, following your gaze with the thumb. And then slowly keep your eyes, but we're not moving our head. So keeping the eyes on the thumb, bringing the right arm across to your left side. You'll notice a little tricep stretch there, and then coming back to center and lowering that hand down. Left arm, thumbs up, keeping your gaze on the thumb and then very slowly out towards the left side. As far as feels comfortable, as far as you can, no straining. And then we'll slowly across in front and over to the right. And back to center. And lowering down. Bringing some warmth now to your hands. So hands together, rubbing them slightly. And when you feel like you've got some warmth, just placing that beautiful energy over your eyes. So hands on the eyes, closing your eyes, and gently allowing the chin to come down to the chest. Just going to say, oops, hello there. How are you, Gina? I couldn't see you. So feeling the energy in the hands. And when that energy dissipates, you might like to bring the head up, knowing that we've strengthened our optic nerve, we're soothing our eyes, calming our nervous system, bringing the fingers down and out towards your ears. So just a light little stroking of the eyes. And then just sliding the hands down the sides of the face. I like to take the hands to the back of the neck and give the neck a little bit of a massage. If at any stage you're uncomfortable, you need to sit in a chair, just grab a chair or change your leg position. You might like the soles of the feet together, or you might like your legs out nice and straight. We won't be here for too much longer. Just like to start off with a little breathing, placing the hands down alongside you with the palms facing forward. So that little external rotation. When you're ready, I'll invite you to take a breath in, raising the arms, and breathing out, turning the palms down. Palms facing forward, breathing in. The invitation to look up is there as well. You might like to start to play around. Palms facing forward, reaching up, looking up, touching the palms, and then turning the palms down as we bring the hands down. Palms forward and looking up, and then looking down. And imagining now your hands are dipped in the thickest honey ever. You can hardly raise your arms from all of that thickness of honey. Just noticing the difference there. Looking up, touching palms, and then that thickness. We're trying so hard to push our hands through that thick honey. Please be mindful of your shoulders, backing off if you need to. Honey hands one more time, extending the palms forward, reaching up, honey, 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 looking up, and pushing away. So you should notice a few more sensations in the hands and the fingers, the forearms, the shoulders. Taking another breath now. Let's invite in a twist. So hands coming up, looking up. And let's start by lowering the left hand down to the left knee and the right hand coming gently back behind you, and a gentle gaze over the right shoulder. Coming back up to center, and then right hand coming to the left. So the left hand's just coming near the small of my back. My fingers are pointing away. Breathing in, coming up, very slowly, very gently, down, coming up. You might like to just move with your breath, have a little feel around with how that feels. And one more time on each side, very slowly, noticing how the spine's feeling this afternoon. And coming back to center. Inviting you now to come onto your hands and your knees. Now, I'd love you to support your knees. So if you have any cushions to support your knees, if you've got a blanket close by, I'm just going to use my two little knee pads. So exploring some cat and cows. So coming into a tabletop position. My arms are roughly shoulder width. My shoulders are underneath, or my wrists are under my shoulders, my legs are hip width apart. And just playing around with here, your breath. If your wrists need a little support, you can roll your mat up and support the wrists. Noticing your breath and commencing some movement when you feel ready, perhaps noticing when you're ready to round the spine. So, cat position, drawing the belly button in towards the chest, allowing the head to move forward, the eyes to gaze down. Keep squeezing in here, but remember our clip block. So the clip block is pubic bone and the lowest part of the sternum stays together. So we're not losing our contents on the floor here, even as we move. So keeping that clip lock in, and then very slowly looking forward, lifting the chest and imagining that backpack on our back, shoulders back and down. When you feel ready to move again, clip lock stays in place, slowly rounding the spine, imagining that you're really creating space in between all your vertebrae. You might like to move the head a little, be very mindful. And then when you feel ready, again, contents not spilling out on the floor, clip lock in place, lowering and coming up. So playing around with that now in your own time, you might want to speed it up a little bit, or you might want to slow it down a little bit. Your body, your call, how this feels for you. If you want to move your hips, you might like to move your hips. If you'd like to move backwards and forwards a little, perhaps coming back and then leaning forward, making sure the clip lock's in place, lifting the chest, rounding the spine as you come back, leaning forward. So you play around. You might even want to move the hips from side to side. And just noticing when your body feels like, yeah, that's okay, I've had enough. Very mindfully walking the hands towards the legs, up to your hips, clip lock in place, protecting our lower back, breathing in, reaching up. And let's make a gushing all that air out as we breathe out. Breathing in, reaching up. Possibly giving yourself a hug this time. Clip lock in place, coming up. Cross the other arm over. So my left's over my right this time. 2 more times, coming up. Right hand over left on the exhalation. Breathing in and left over right. Coming back to our table. Clip locks in place, where I'll invite you now to come into a low lunge. So I'm starting with my left leg, my ankle is underneath my knee. I'm drawing this heel back. So imagining that you're putting a piece of glue on the mat and this heel is drawing back, activating your quadricep. Clip locks in place. When you feel ready, arms by the side. Breathing in, lengthening. Breathing out, touching your palms and extending your index fingers. Then lowering the hands down on your next inhalation. And a cat-cow here. So rounding and releasing. Lowering down. Breathing in, reaching up. And breathing out, hands in front. Cat-cow. Hands come down for a big, big circle. Extending. Back of the hands, rounding and lowering. Breathing in, reaching up. Index fingers. Big circle with the arms. Extending the chest. Rounding the spine. And coming down. Let's do 2 more of those in your own time. I'm going to come and take a little peek. So keep breathing. Only doing as much as you can. Remember, you can always, if your shoulders are a little bit this afternoon, just maybe take your hands to your shoulders instead of raising them right up. And keep your hands on your heart. Just doing the best that you can. And we're going to change sides. So once you've done those two, let's change sides. Step the right foot out in front. So ankle under the knee, right heel drawing back, activating your quadricep, clip locks in place, hands by the side, breathing in, reaching up when you're ready. And breathing out, extending the arms out in front. A big circle from here with the cow and then the cat position. Drawing that belly in, clip lock in place. And hands by your side. So 5 of these. In your own time, in your own rhythm. It's a big sweep of the arms. Sorry, I think I just lost my train of thought. So then the cat and then the cow. Hands by our side. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, arms in front. Big circle as we come into the cow part. And then the cat. And then arms down. Breathing in. And breathing out. A big sweep here. Expanding. Rounding. And hands down. Breathing in. Breathing out. Or in your own time. Big sweep of the arms. Chest expands. And rounds. And coming up. And we'll lower that right leg and coming into a puppy pose. So back down into your tabletop. Then I'll invite you to walk your knees back as far as feels comfortable. So walking, 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 walking. So the knees are coming back as far as it feels comfortable. Keep that clip lock in place so you're not losing your content, and just feeling the stretch in the shoulders here. Now lifting the tail. The tail will lift nice and high. Keep that clip lock in place. We're not losing anything from our belly. And you might like to just move the hips gently from side to side here. See how that feels. Keep breathing. The invitation now is to come up ever so slightly, lean forward ever so slightly, and then come back. Clip lock must be in place here, friends. So pubic bone and your sternum, clipping that into place. So we're moving very, very slowly, but very, very safely. There's no strain on the lower back whatsoever. If it doesn't feel right, disregard. Just a tiny little movement forward and then coming back. Always listen to your body. Doesn't feel right, come and have a little rest. And one more time. Forward a little. And then back. Then walking your arms back in. Coming back to the tabletop position, and just a little movement here, bringing the right side, so the right bottom towards your right heel. So it's just bringing the body over to the right a little, coming up through center, and then taking the left side of the bottom down towards the left heel and coming up. Now with anyone knee issues like myself, I'm going to use my little cushion just to support this, to make this not as hard, not as much pressure on the knees. So if that's the case, just roll up your little blankie behind. So we're taking the right bottoms over towards the right heel, coming back, and then the left side. It's kind of like almost a moving little child's pose, coming up, right side, Coming back. Clip blocks in place. Left side of the bottom over towards the left here. And coming up. Let's do 2 more of those. So right, left, down, and left, and coming up. And last one. And having a little pause. So you might like to come completely down into child's pose. You might like to support yourself with your cushion, resting your head on the cushion, or perhaps your 2 fists on top of each other. And just checking it. Feel the effects of what we've been doing. Noticing any sensations in your arms, in your hips, in your buttocks. So just breathing here, having a little pause, a little rest. Then the invitation to roll over is there. So coming up when you feel ready. So coming down onto the spine. So even as I'm moving, that clip lock is in place. So it's almost like you're pulling up the top of your undies and that lower part of your sternum is staying in place. We're breathing, we're sending our breath up and out just like it's a balloon. So the breath moves up and out. So we're constant, you'll feel that. If you're breathing like that, you'll feel your pelvic floor switch on. You'll feel that you're building this strength in your abdominals. So feet are about hip width apart, arms alongside the body. Now, pretend that you've just put some little globs of glue under your heels and activate your feet activate your quadriceps. Bring your heels in towards the bottom. That'll activate here. We're switched on, breathing outwards and upwards. And the invitation is to breathe in with the arms and breathe out in your own rhythm. If you need to just place your hands on your heart, you can. If that's too much for the shoulders, if you want to just place your hands on the shoulders, you might like to just move your elbows or breathing in and breathing out. And let's explore a little breath, a humming breath on the way out. So as you're breathing in, bring the hands back. As you breathe out, bring your lips together and breathing in and breathing out. And one more, breathing in and breathing out. Now keeping that clip lock in place, I'll give you 2 options here for a little spinal twist. You can either just slowly lower the knees from side to side, or if your back is feeling absolutely fantastic, you might like to try, so clip lock in place, taking the knees from side to side. But please either support that knee if you need to, and coming over to the other side. So you keeping your clip lock in place is going to be very, very beneficial if you're choosing to do it this way, okay? So we're not hanging, everything is supported, but if it just doesn't feel right for your back, please don't do it. We can return the legs down and the knees come from side to side. And you can play around with the distance of your feet. So there's 2 options for you. So continue in your own time, noticing your breath. And is there for you to leave your knees, whether you're doing it this way or this way, or whether they're on the floor. Perhaps you might like to leave your legs one way. You can initiate a twist. If you need to support that hand, you can. So I've got my legs to the right at the moment. I'm going to lift my right foot and just rest it on my left thigh, just to assist me. And I'm slowly going to take my gaze towards the left. So my knees are to the right and my head is to the left, if that feels okay. Either stay where you are, you might like to explore that. Maybe taking 5 breaths here. See how that feels in your body. Doesn't feel right, don't do it. And then once you've done those 5, we can change sides. So doing a few little rocks in between, and then next, the legs would like to come down to the left. Lifting the left foot and lowering it onto the right thigh. And then the head might like to come over to the right. So doing your opposite side. Always listening. If that feels not quite right, maybe keep moving. This will be the last thing that we'll do, and then we'll get ready for our eye rest. If you feel the need to bring the knees up to the chest, placing the hands on your knees and gliding the knees around in a circle, out or in, or just remembering keeping that clip lock in place, maybe going back the other way. Now getting yourself prepared for eye rest. So I'm just going to unmute you all.